guys. Okay, so normally I do reviews, but today I'm going to be doing just a little rant on the new upcoming movie for next year, Fallen. Now, I love the books, and I'm not happy they're making a movie, and I want to know if anybody else feels the same way as me. Those of you who don't know, this is Fallen. It is a wonderful book, and it is a wonderful series, and I don't want them to ruin it. I didn't read Twilight, and I've never read The Hunger Games, so I didn't really understand how people felt when they got annoyed that their favourite sort of book series was getting made. Now I feel your pain. I don't want them to make a movie on it. Okay, so this is Fallen. They're going to be making the movie on this, but I'm wondering if they're going to maybe incorporate Torment as well, the second book, because sometimes they do that. They did that with Angus Thongs. It was the first two books. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. For those of you who don't know what Fallen is and maybe want to get into it before the film gets made, because they've just started casting it, Fallen is about a girl called Lucinda Price. She's 17 years old, I believe, yes. And she gets sent to a reform school in Georgia called Sword and Cross. Now, on her first day there, she ends up meeting and instantly falling in love with a young boy called Daniel. Unbeknownst to her, Daniel is a fallen angel, as are several other people at Sword and Cross. This entire book is about her coming to terms with all these new feelings that she has and eventually finding out that he has known her for thousands of years, and that every time he gets close to her at the age of around 17, she gets reincarnated, she dies. This is not a spoiler alert. This is the point of the whole book. This is the point of the whole series. So, yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful... It's angels, basically, you know? It's not vampires or werewolves or anything, it's angels. But it's amazing. I picked it up randomly, and I, straight away went out and bought the second one. There's Fallen, which is the first book, Torment, which is the second book, and then we have Passion, which is the third book. Then there's an in-between book, like a 3.5, called Fallen in Love. And then we end it with book 4, which is Rapture. I love the covers on these as well. I'd love to do a recreation of the first one and get her dress. Yeah, but the big crux of this movie idea for me is, in the first book, Lucinda barely really says anything or does anything. I mean, it's only until right at the end of the book that she is let in on this entire secret. And then obviously in book 2, she gets sent off for her own safety to Shoreline, where she learns to sort of use little powers that she has and learns more about the background. In book 3, she ends up going on a humongous journey, which is actually my favourite book of the whole series. I hope they make that into a movie if they do go along with this. They shouldn't just stop at number 1. And then the fourth one is obviously the big showdown. It's the conclusion to the whole saga. But like I say, my big crux of them making a movie is that book 1, nothing much happens. It's a lot of her thought. She doesn't say very much. The people around her say stuff to her, but she's very introverted in the first book in general. It's mainly Lucy thought and Lucy did, and there's not much. I don't know if people say Lucy as well. I was calling her Luce for most of the book in my mind, and then I changed it to Lucy because they very rarely call her Lucinda. But yeah, she very rarely says anything. I mean, how the hell can you make a script out of book 1? That's my problem. It's not much. It's very much all of her thought, you know. Lucy looked up at Sword and Cross and blah, 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 blah for a whole chapter about what she was thinking about it and her memories of previous things that have happened to her. There's not much of I don't know where they're going to get a lot of dialogue, because then they're going to have to change a lot of stuff. If they want to make a huge script out of this, they're going to have to put a lot of stuff in it that isn't there in the book. So I'm worried they're going to really ruin it. So that's why I was thinking maybe they were going to put book 1 and 2 together, because obviously more stuff happens in book 2. I'm going to end my rant here. Let me know what you think. If you've been wanting to have a go about this book, film rather, or praise it and you can't wait for it, then you can do it in my comments, because a lot of places don't allow swearing and things like that. You can say whatever the fuck you want in the bottom of my comments. Oh, by the way, for those of you who don't know, they've only cast Daniel and Lucinda at the moment. Lucinda is a girl called Addison Timlin, I believe. Did I write that down? Yeah, Addison Timlin. I've not really seen her in anything. She's not really who I pictured Lucy being. I pictured Kaya Scodelario to be Lucy. I think she looks like her in my hand. And Daniel is Jeremy Irvine, who's British, and he's actually been in a few things in the last couple of years. He was in War Horse and he was Pip in Great Expectations. He's also not who I pictured him being. I really wanted Alex Pettifer to be Daniel because I just picture those two. So yeah, I'm ending my rant here. Let me know what you think.